closer to community segment, and we're one of your nominations, Steve. Hello. Yeah. So, how did it first feel when you got into anime manga?
Well, it was kind of interesting. Actually, I come from more. My first fandom was really tokusatsu, which is more like some of you know, like Kikaida, Kamen Rider, the live action stuff. And from there, they started airing some anime, and so I started getting into that a little bit more. Probably none of your viewers would ever have seen Yusha Raiden, but that was one that was airing back then. And then in the 80s, I think, you know, a lot of people know things like Macross, or I'm sorry, not Macross, it was Robotech.
Yeah.
Robotech, they actually put 3 series together. I think, I don't know how many people realize that, but yeah, to be Robotech. And also Star Blazers, I think at the time, which was Senkan Yamato, dubbed over for English.
And where did you, I guess, grow up? Like, what was it like for you growing up in Hawaii?
Okay, yeah, well, here in town, Honolulu. Actually, we moved. I guess it was first house my parents had was in Kololo, and then moved out to Hawaii. And yeah, but basically been living there all my life.
Yeah. So, did any life lessons kind of stick out for you when you were growing up? Like maybe from anime, or from parents or school, work?
I guess you learn a lot of things along the way. Yeah, but I mean, in particular, I'm sorry, so from things like anime or manga, I think one of the things I got the most out of is how characters tend to, persevere through stuff. So even though you're facing challenges, even though odds are against you, if you really believe strongly in something, you can achieve some amount of success. Maybe even not total success, but some amount of success if you just kind of persevere and stick with what you're doing. Fight through it no matter what the adversity.
Yeah, I know, so good. All right, so how about for other, I guess, hobbies? Like, did it start to show up in cosplay? Anything that you grew up in? Or?
It's funny. I always, growing up, again, my first as a kid, like my heroes were like Kikaida or Kamen Rider, and I kind of got into this sort of, in a way, into this sort of area. Through that, I ended up years later befriending a guy who actually was making the costumes that were used locally for all the promotions and shows. So actually I got into it through that, and kind of a cosplaying sort of thing. We're called suit actors. But I got to play some of my childhood heroes, and that to me was just totally awesome. I never would have dreamed in my entire life that I would have that opportunity to be Kikaida, to be Kamen Rider. Not only that, but to work alongside and at some shows and appearances with people like Van Daisuke, who was the original Jiro Kikaida, the late, I'm afraid, Ichiro, who was Kira Shunsuke, the late Kira Shunsuke. And even Miyoshi Hiroshi was Kamen Rider B3, so that was kind of cool. And that's kind of led me to, once I got out of that, I said, I kind of missed that, so cosplay is kind of the next best thing.
What was it like, I guess, like meeting the, actors or even writers or production staff of people who produce, your iconic heroes?
Yeah, well, that was, something you wouldn't, like I said, I never dreamed that would be the case. And, initially, I don't know how many people know, but kind of in Japan, they have different social structures, and they're kind of rigid about that. But the kind of cool thing, the really good thing was both Ban-san and Ikeda-san they understood that that's in Japan, this is in Hawaii, things are different in Hawaii. And so they accepted, us, basically they just treated us as equals. And that was really cool. But I mean, you're kind of I'm old, but still you're kind of a starstruck kid. Yeah, who's my hero? And then, so that was just an unbelievable experience.
Yeah, because only from then, you got to work personally with them. Not a lot of people would get that opportunity. Maybe only from maybe a convention event where they bring a guest together.
Yeah.
What was it like first getting involved in conventions? Were you just a regular attendee? How was it like just going to one?
Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of people in Hawaii, the first convention I went to was Kauai. That was because my daughter and her friend wanted to go, and so we took her down there and hung out there a little bit. So it was kind of interesting. I'd never been to any kind of convention like that ever, so it was an interesting experience. Seeing some of the things I didn't understand because I wasn't really that into the current anime as much, but it was interesting. Then slowly, kind of got into this a little bit more because you just meet people along the way. And I think it was in either 2011 or 2012. I met Kel Komatsubara. A lot of people know Kel. And he was at the time one of the principals of XXP. And he had asked me, because he knew I was into Macross. Excuse me. He asked me if I would like to help them curate the Macross Museum that they're going to have, because it was the 30th anniversary of Macross in 2012. So that was cool. I got to meet one of his best friends, and we got to hang out in the museum. So that was kind of my first experience on the other side.
For like work volunteering?
Yeah, volunteering and that kind of thing. And one of the cool things was one of the voice actresses and singers, and she still performs a lot today, Nakajima Mekune, who's the voice of Akali. She was one of the guests that year. And we decided to have her autograph session most appropriately in the Macross Museum. So that was really cool. We got to post it here. So we made these hats. There were 6 of them. 4 of them are still in Hawaii. One of them is in Las Vegas, and one of them is somewhere in Japan. So we gave one as a gift to
Oh wow! So what was it like? I guess just maybe focusing on like the volunteering aspect for like a convention, like scheduling wise. What was it like to be a part of the museum or just volunteering in general?
For that year, it was a little the planning part and the setup mostly is what I did. Planning a little bit of the setup in the museum. So most of my time actually was spent there. We did a little bit of other things helping as might be needed, here or there. I did get, because it was a lucky accident for me, or some planning didn't go quite go right, and I got to pick up Live Tune. He's an awesome DJ, but it's an interesting experience. A lot of things that people don't see as attendees. I think, wow, this is really cool. That's really cool. Well, let's go here next. And everything looks like it's running, smoothly. But there are a lot of wheels turning in the background. Sometimes last minute. I mean, no matter how well you plan something, things happen at the last minute. You have to kind of be flexible and switch things up.
Yeah.
So I got to see a little bit of that.
How about for like, I guess, balancing, like, I guess, manning the convention and also enjoying other events? Like, was it difficult, like, volunteering and manning the museum, and if you wanted to go to any other events, like, was it hard to make it happen?
That's a good question. I can see where a lot of people who may be interested in volunteering for a convention may think like, I kind of want to volunteer. I want to help out because I want to help, and I want to also see kind of like what it's like on that side, right? I kind of don't want to miss out on these things, and I don't know if I'm going to. Maybe I won't get to do this, but I have to tell you that as a volunteer, a staff, you're going to get so much more out of it than you might ever miss by not, maybe your shift is this time during a certain panel you want to see or something. But I tell you, the experience is incredible.
Yeah, because I wouldn't imagine that, like, hey, all of a sudden, autograph signing in the venue that you were assigned.
Exactly. That wasn't originally planned. They had a specific room, couple of rooms set aside for autographs. But then one of the promoters thought, we have the Macross Museum. It's the 30th anniversary of Macross. Why don't we have her signing there in the Macross Museum? So yeah, exactly. You never.
And what was it like, I guess, bringing together like what I guess you would feel would be appropriate in the Macross Museum? Because like that was what you were mainly doing for that event.
Mostly I was helping, actually, just there in that room at the time. Most of the things came from one of close friends, Milton Streeter. He's the one who has the hats in Las Vegas right now. We did a good deal of planning for a few things here and there, doing promo videos a lot. But most of it was Milton bringing it in, and some of the other staff that Kel had on hand who did a fantastic job of setting it up.
And then after, I guess, moving on from that event, it was a successful event. How about for other events, like for the other convention scene, like Oni-Con and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, it was interesting. Oni-Con, boy, was an interesting event, and things had gone really well actually the first year. For our first year convention, we did incredibly well. Like people at the convention center even told us that we were a lot more organized than some other events they'd seen in the past. Especially considering it was our first year.
Yeah.
But we did have a lot of good people. See, the thing is, a lot of people see certain people at conventions and they think, oh, this person's the chair, or this person's in charge of the guests, and that type of thing. And you see certain people, but it's really, I gotta tell you, my biggest regret with Oni-Con is that we didn't get to do enough, give back, I feel, to the volunteers, to our staff, because a convention lives or dies by the willingness and the commitment of its volunteers and staff.
Yeah.
And they did so much to make that, to pull it off, to be a success. Again, about that being flexible, doing things, changing your assignment at the last minute, not really complaining about this, that, or the other thing. Just that willingness to help out wherever they could. And that was incredible. So we were blessed with an amazing staff.
What was it like, I guess, moving from not just volunteering, but now I guess, helping coordinate with other volunteers? Yeah, because that was entirely new for you in Oni-Con too. Right?
Yeah, it was. Originally, I was supposed to just be the public face of the convention. And just as things progressed and the way things just played out, it ended up where I ended up and said, well, you might as well just be the chair since everyone's used to seeing you sort of. But anyways, well, all right, I don't know anything about this, but all right, let's give it a shot. But that's why I say really, Oni-Con Hawaii was really successful for first year again. And all of that was due to the people that we had working with us as a team. I mean, it took someone like me who didn't know that much really, except for my one volunteer experience prior, to pull off what we did was really amazing. But yeah, you do learn a lot of things behind the scenes. What's involved in booking hotels, making hotel arrangements for guests, making hotels available for attendees who might be coming from other parts of the island or maybe another island, that type of thing. Just the intricacies too of what guests will want. We had some pretty amazing guests, and so, with those amazing, the level of amazingness also comes a certain amount of demand from their side too. Yeah. So, for example, I don't think I'm giving away any secrets or anything, but everyone I think knows what an incredible musician Nobuo Uematsu is. And to his credit, really, he's very particular about their sound check. And they spent a long time doing their sound check. I think that's what happens from what I understand. That's what they have to happen. You set aside a larger block of time for them. But again, you hear that in itself. The performance, the concert they did that night, and you could tell.
Yeah, it was amazing, and that area isn't always used for I guess that kind of acoustics, and they set it up really well, and even Nobuo himself liked it.
Yeah. So that was really, again, what comes from having good people, knowing what they're doing and willing to go that extra mile to make it happen.
Was it hard, I guess, helping a mainland con realize, I guess, their main goal experience for their attendees to feel out here in Hawaii?
In this case, I would, you normally would think so. In this case, it was a little difficult for me in that communication wasn't really that good. It was a little difficult to really, we'd have to ask stuff, and sometimes we get answers, sometimes not. And I think some of that comes from a staff trying to do two different things. Even though their event is not quite at the same time, I think there was some difficulty there. But in one aspect, we didn't get that much guidance, which could be seen as a bad thing. On the other hand, we had a freer hand to, kind of put forth our vision of what we wanted it to be. So good and bad.
No, yeah, because Hawaii people might not be ready for the same experience from a mainland convention.
Yeah.
They trusted your experience and you were able to, make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, with the upcoming convention too, Oni-Con Hawaii, we hope, to do that same sort of thing in that they know how to run a successful convention. They're an incredibly large convention in Houston. Their facility there, the George Brown, I think it's called, the convention center, is an incredibly large facility. So they have the expertise to do that, but what I think they rely on people like Heidi and myself and a few other people is to advise them as to what things will work here if you bring it from the mainland.
Yeah.
But what things maybe not so much, and how just the local flavor. So that's a different experience for them. Too. Even anybody who comes here wants to do an event, they'd be wise to try to get a pulse of what it is like for local people. That's your market. So
yeah. So I guess since you're more familiar with it now, how do you feel like the convention scene for Hawaii attendees is different from when you first went to Kauai-Con as an attendee, and now as I guess from volunteer to now event coordinator or chairs and stuff like that?
I guess now I can see it from both sides of the fence, so to speak. And so it's interesting because you see things and you think, that way or something like that. But then, you remember too, and probably it's some things, no one wants, I mean, everyone has the best intentions in mind, but sometimes things happen at the last minute, and you have to switch things up, like we were talking about earlier, and it doesn't quite come out the way you planned. Those things happen. But I've seen in the case of Oni-Con, it's evolved over the years. They're growing every year. And so, I tip my hat to them because now having seen from the other side, I know not all, but a good number of the difficulties involved in planning something like that, in coordinating vendors, artists, your guests, and having different things for the attendees, people watching panels, all of this, juggling all of that. It's a tremendous effort. And again, it takes a big team to do that.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. So yeah, it sounds like you're involved in a lot of activities. So it doesn't sound like you have a lot of free time, but what do you do on your time off?
You're right, I don't have a lot of free time. Aside from work, I do have an actual real job. And I just do this on part-time, temporary, just kind of almost as a hobby, but putting a little bit more effort than just a hobby because it is a business for people coming here. What do I do? Pretty much as little as possible. I mean,
Rest.
just try to kick back, relax, and watch some anime. In fact, I know this is kind of still old for most people, but I just finished Okubo. And I really like that. So someone else was comparing it recently on Facebook, one of my friends, to Parasite. So I said, I'm going to check that out, see how those two kind of compare too. So.
Did you watch it with family? I don't know if other family members would like Tokyo Ghoul, but maybe they like Parasite.
Well, yeah, I'll see about Parasite. I'm not really sure. There are some though that the entire family enjoy. Our daughter got us into, I think last year, into Haikyuu, the volleyball anime.
Yeah. And
so yeah, we really enjoyed that. We used to actually, oddly, as a family back when Cartoon Network was airing it, we would all watch Naruto every week.
Nice.
And then at some point, unfortunately, they just stopped airing it. But yeah, we would do that. So some that certainly different tastes.
Yeah. So as a hobby, like any manga, cosplay, or planning, or even the Sentai rages, stuff like that, a lot of these enjoyable activities, in life, they don't necessarily come for free, whether it's spending time or money on it. How do you balance these with other priorities you have in life, work, transportation, family?
Yeah, that's another good question.
Yeah.
Because I can kind of get really into it. Now, I'm not much of a fabricator, like Heidi, people like Yoko, and they're really good at fabricating stuff and making their costumes from scratch. I'm not, so that mostly, and so that's why I kind of limited a little bit in my genre.
It's okay,
I'm
it's
more
still cosplay.
yeah, that's true. I still more like the suit actor type. I'm better at bringing characters to life, but making the suits themselves are a little bit not my forte. So that is tricky. And the other that's tricky about that is I'm very picky about what things look like.
Oh,
and if they don't look to me pretty close to accurate, then I really don't want to do it. And so I mean that's a bad thing for me because if you want that amount of accuracy and detail and stuff, there's money involved in that. So.
Yeah.
So it's a little tricky balancing sometimes.
Do you feel it's tricky balancing, I guess, your social interaction with people? Do you have any pets or just spending time with family, coworkers, friends, and the people that you also are involved in the anime scene? Because that all takes a slice of your life away.
Yeah, that's true. It does. We try to make as much. You do have your priorities. To me, family come first always. Work somewhere after that, and then quite honestly, cosplaying itself would be a hobby for me. And that kind of comes nearer the bottom. So again, a little bit tricky because I want to have things accurate, but I don't want to spend the time. I don't want to spend too much money on it either. At least my wife wouldn't want to spend it can be kind of tricky. But as long as you have your priorities straight and you know what you want to do, you can do that. You can make time. A lot of people will say, well, I don't have time to do this, I don't have time to do that. It's busy. It's a busy life for everybody. But if you really want to do something, you can find a way to do it. That's my goal.
Yeah. So before it sounds like, wow, this guy's so awesome. They can balance family time, work, and planning conventions. It sounds like you're some super awesome coordinator and slice of life anime.
I wish.
But you are, like, but just so that they know, like, you're a real person. What's your real name, so that the viewers know who you are.
Well, my real name?
Yeah.
Oh, my real name is Steve Okubo. That's really my name. You might, though, see me on certain social media and things. My typical pseudonym, I guess, is Watani Koro. And that's another one from my tokusatsu past. The first hero character I played was a character called Inazuma, which is also another one that Daisuke played. And what got me kind of hooked on that one in particular is we did this show in 2003, and that's the character I played. And after I came off stage, Ban-san came up to me and talked to me. He said in Japanese, but he said, "That was really great. You are Inazuma."
Yeah.
I mean, to have your hero say that was just the best. So since then, the human form of Inazuma is Watani Goro, and that's been pretty much my signature ever since.
Nice. So, any other things you want to promote before we end the scene?
Not really that I can think of, but of course, please come out to Anime Matsuri Hawaii. It's going to be awesome. I'm bringing Houston to Honolulu, and that's going to be an incredible experience. Trust me.
Do you want to say anything to the people that nominated you for this segment?
I would like to say, why? No, but I really appreciate that. I know that I appreciate that a lot, that people even know who I am to nominate me. That's really great. I'm looking forward to future guests that you're doing interviews with that are going to be far more interesting than me, believe me. So, but thank you so much. Really, it's an honor and very humbling that anyone out there knows who I am. So thank you.
Just to recap for like the closer to community segment, like we asked the community for nominations for who they felt, made an impactful effort or just impacted the community in a way that they felt, nomination worthy. And we actually have their nominations for you here, and if you could read it out and tell your viewers what you think about how, thanks for nominating me, or how you feel about them nominating you.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
let's see. The first one says, "I wanted to nominate you, Steve, because no one really seems to see the man that those who know you see." I'm sorry, I'm not good at reading. I was absent that day at school. They taught me this. I wish you had made different decisions of who you had worked with, but I'm sure you have no regrets of your choices. No matter what you choose, I wish you good luck, good day, and have a great year. Well, thank you very much. We all make certain choices, and some work out, some not so much. And I think as long as you learn from those things, and you can move forward and do better next time, that's great. But again, thank you for the kind words. Really appreciate that. Another person said, "I heard through the grapevine that things are a little rough on the corners. You allied with one event and it went down. Another one you helped and it wasn't so swell. And the last thing is getting hard pressed with lots of rumors. I think you might have a little bad luck. It isn't all negative, but I'm sure it isn't all pleasant as well. The hardships of slowly finding the right path is never easy. Those of us who know this, see a good-hearted man of mystery, a kikaida, a common writer, a doctor, cosplaying for families and the good for all." Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And yeah, that has actually occurred to me too. Seemingly a string of bad luck here or there, but I think you can find good in anything. And there are certain challenges, but I really feel that from those challenges, better things will bloom. And so, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much. The last one here says, "Walking the world of otaku is a vast place, even for an island. There are a few number of people who help the troops along and communicate with optimism. I, as many others, appreciate your kindness, focus, and attendance to events. We couldn't imagine many events without Steve because you do what motivates you. So things are bleak, are still very possible." That's what you're saying. "When you move into your cosplay, something begins to start. The kids see and their eyes a hero under the costume. No journey is a waste. Henshin. I like that. Continue on as we see you, Kamen Rider Steve. Oh, thanks, man. I really like that. That's it's my heart right there. Kamen Rider, yeah. But thank you so much for all of these kind words again for the nomination. Very humbling, and I really truly appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks again for your input into our online publication.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Steve.
Thank you.